Hello students, have you ever paused before taking a bite of your meal and thought, where did this food actually come from? Whether it's rice on your plate, the mango you enjoy in summer, or the bread you had for breakfast, the starting point is always the same, a plant. Plants are truly special in the living world because, unlike animals, they don't depend on others to bring them food. They make it themselves. That's why we call them autotrophs. Auto means self and troph means nourishment. Autotrophs have this remarkable ability to build their own food using simple raw materials like carbon dioxide from the air and water from the soil. And because of this, plants act as the primary producers in every ecosystem, forming the very base of the food chain. Think about it. Without plants, there would be no wheat, no fruits, no oxygen, and really no survival for animals, including us humans. That's the level of generosity and importance plants hold in the living world. So, how do plants perform this magic of food production? The answer lies in one of the most significant life processes, photosynthesis. Let's say it step by step. During photosynthesis, 6 molecules of carbon dioxide, that's CO2, combine with 6 molecules of water, H2O, in the presence of light energy. They produce 1 molecule of glucose, C6H12O6, plus 6 molecules of oxygen gas, O2. The equation goes like this: 6CO2 plus 6H2O in the presence of light gives C6H12O6 plus 6O2. The star of this process is the green pigment chlorophyll found inside the leaves. Chlorophyll acts like a solar panel, capturing sunlight and converting it into chemical energy. That chemical energy is then stored in glucose, a simple sugar molecule that becomes food not just for the plant, but for all living beings. And while plants are busy cooking their food, they generously release oxygen into the atmosphere, oxygen that you and I breathe every single second. Let's bring this even closer to your own life. The oxygen you just inhaled a moment ago, yes, that very breath, came directly from a plant's photosynthetic activity. Plants and animals are tightly connected in this beautiful cycle. Plants supply us with food in the form of carbohydrates and oxygen for respiration. In return, through respiration, we release carbon dioxide, which goes right back to the plants. This creates a perfect balance of gases in the atmosphere. Ecologically speaking, plants are the producers. Herbivores like cows and goats eat plants directly, and carnivores like lions depend on herbivores. So whether it's directly or indirectly, every living creature is powered by the food energy first captured by plants. Without plants, this gas balance would collapse, and food chains would break down. Quite literally, life as we know it would come to a stop. Now, have you ever noticed how houseplants on a windowsill always bend towards sunlight? That's because sunlight is their energy source. Photosynthesis cannot happen without light. During the light reactions, which occur in the thylakoid membranes inside chloroplasts, the energy from sunlight is used to split water molecules. When water splits, it releases hydrogen and oxygen. The hydrogen, along with high-energy molecules like ATP and NADPH, powers the later stages of food production. The oxygen, as you know, is released into the air. So sunlight is not just brightness we see in the morning. It is the very fuel driving life on Earth. Without it, plants cannot prepare food, and all dependent life forms would eventually vanish. Let's zoom in on the plant's food factory, the leaf. Leaves are beautifully designed with broad, flat surfaces to absorb as much sunlight as possible. If you look closely, you'll find tiny pores on the leaf surface. These are stomata. They act like doors, opening to let carbon dioxide in and releasing oxygen out. Inside the leaf, a network of veins carries water and minerals from the roots into the leaf cells and distributes the prepared food to other parts of the plant. And within the mesophyll cells of the leaf lie the chloroplasts, tiny green organelles where the real magic happens. Inside chloroplasts are stacks of thylakoids, almost like little green coins stacked together, where light energy is captured. So when you see green leaves fluttering in the breeze, remember, each one is a miniature food factory, constantly working to support life on this planet. But here's the bigger picture. Plants don't just feed themselves, they feed the entire biosphere. Take herbivores like cows or deer, they eat plants directly. Then carnivores like tigers or wolves eat those herbivores. Even omnivores like us humans depend entirely on plant products, either directly through fruits and grains or indirectly through meat and dairy. That's why farmers cultivating crops are actually harnessing this photosynthetic ability of plants to produce food for millions. If you look at evolution, early photosynthetic organisms, like cyanobacteria, were the first to release oxygen into Earth's atmosphere. That oxygen made life possible for aerobic organisms like us. Whether it's a dense rainforest or the plankton floating in oceans, plants and other autotrophs form the foundation of every ecosystem. Without them, there would be no food chains, no energy flow, no life. So let's wrap this up. Plants are the true self-sufficient autotrophs of our world. Through photosynthesis, they convert sunlight into glucose, a source of energy and food, and release oxygen, the gas that sustains animal life. They stand at the very base of the food chain, supporting herbivores, carnivores, omnivores, and decomposers alike. In fact, they are not just feeding themselves, they are feeding the planet. Next time you enjoy a piece of fruit, a plate of rice, or simply take a deep, refreshing breath, pause for a moment and realize, it all began with photosynthesis in plants. Isn't it amazing to think that life itself is rooted in these silent green producers? I hope you now appreciate why plants are called the generous providers and the true foundation of life on Earth. In our next session, we'll explore some fascinating experiments that prove just how photosynthesis works in action. Until then, remember, every garden, every tree, every leaf around you is a living miracle factory at work.